Hi, and welcome back to the channel. We are continuing the Legend of Korra. This is Book 4, Chapter 9, titled Beyond the Wilds. Last time around, that was definitely just a recap episode, but it gave us the chance to talk about some of our favorite moments and favorite characters and whatnot. And there are actually a couple of more Patreon questions that we didn't get to. They were submitted like after we watched the episode, probably. The first one is from Reinhardt. How would y'all rank the Korra villains so far? Most liked slash least liked. I think for me it's fairly easy. I would go
Unalak.
yeah, from the bottom.
Yeah.
I'd go Unalak, Kuvira,
Amon
Zaheer. Yeah, I'd probably like that. But I haven't seen all of book 4 yet, so Kuvira might move a little bit therein, but I think all of the villains have been really, really good. And we've mentioned this before that we think that Unalog might have been the most two-dimensional out of the 4 villains there. But yeah, they're all good. And then Spoondog says, to give you some background on this episode, Nickelodeon threatened huge budget cuts, and the writers had the difficult choice to change this episode to a clip show to save budget for their finale rather than rather than fire the animators or some of the animators. This episode was originally slated to be Kuvira's backstory. What would you have liked to learn about Kuvira from this episode? Yeah, that's a shame that we didn't get that, and they had to move things around. I'm sure it was the right decision in the end. Saving the budget for the actual finale, but it would have been cool if we had gotten like a Kuvira backstory sort of deal, just to flesh out one of the villains even more.
Yeah, because we saw when she stormed out on Suyin. So I would love to get a little bit more into that transition from her actually having like a noble cause, and then from that going full on fascist. I would love to kind of see that transition.
Yeah, where did those tendencies come from, and how was her relationship with Sue beforehand? How did she get into, being a part of the guard there at Saufu? Maybe, yeah, just a little bit more background information or backstory on Kuvira. That would have been cool. But thank you so much for letting us know, Spoondog, that there is a reason why they went with a typical flashback or recap clip show for the previous episode. But there was still some enjoyable stuff in it, like Varric's retelling of Bolin's story and everything he threw into that. But anywho, are you ready to jump into Beyond the Wilds? All right, let's do it. And you can, of course, always check out our full-length reactions where you can sync up the footage with your own copy of the episode. We also have early reactions for some of the shows that we're doing, including The Legend of Korra. It's all over on Patreon, and the link is down in the description below. And here we go.
Why is that vine coming toward us?
I don't see anything about that on the cards.
I'm gonna poke it with a stick.
Why would you ever?
Isn't he the best airbender ever?
Okay. The spirit vines are kind of rebelling because of what Kuvira is doing, or?
Don't worry, we'll get them back safely.
Guys, there you are. I just felt a weird surge of spiritual energy coming from the spirit wilds. Something's wrong.
You can say that again. Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Korra, what is it? Are you okay?
It was Kuvira. I saw her taking vines from the swamp. It must be affecting our spirit wilds.
We have to tell Raiko. This might help him convince the other leaders to finally take her down.
I'm just spitballing here. We march in with an army of highly trained badger moles. Do we know if Kuvira has any allergies?
Look, I think we all know what must be
Firelord
done.
is there
We
as
take
well.
the fight to her.
President Raiko, I'm sorry to interrupt, but what's going on here?
Oh, hey, Avatar Korra.
You invited him, but not me?
We just thought perhaps we called you back into action a little too soon.
Again, him, not me?
Korra, we're in the middle of a meeting, and we can't have people just barge in whatever they want.
Guys! Oh, perfect! You're all...
More people barging in.
Fine. I'll hold off any plans of attack. We'll go on the defensive and fortify security on the borders.
In that, you'll have my help.
Opal, wait! Please, I just want to say that I'm sorry for everything. And topple your home and get your mom captured and your brothers and your dad. Wow, that does sound really bad when I say it out loud like
really
that.
bad.
But I'm gonna make it up to you.
We can't ask other people to risk their necks for our family. If we want to break them out, we'll have to do it alone.
You were right, and I'm just an idiot. I hope that I'll be able to earn your trust again.
You're not an idiot. You were just doing what you thought was right.
Oh, I love you guys, and I really want to hug again.
Aww.
Oh shit, Janora. Where is it even taking people?
Korra!
How
The vines! They're taking me!
I don't think anyone should be going in there right now.
I know I'm not the old Avatar I used to be, but I can do this.
Okay. They're really getting aggressive.
Korra, look. What are those?
Ew!
It cocooned them? What the why?
Their spirits are trapped in the spirit world.
Let's get them out.
Don't! You'll provoke the vines.
Huh. Oh, yeah.
They won't open. Maybe if I meditate into the spirit world, I can free them.
Oh no. Are they in the fog?
Here. No!
She's really not at a 100%.
Korra! What's wrong?
I want to face Zaheer.
Korra, he's too dangerous.
Oh.
Even when he's locked up, he can't be trusted.
I know I can do this.
I'm just so worried for Janora. I can't imagine if something happened to you too.
I'll be okay.
Let her do it.
Zaheer's imprisoned deep in the mountains outside the city.
Oh, damn, we're gonna see Zaheer again.
Yeah.
Not just in flashbacks and visions.
Hmm.
Hey.
Baby!
I don't know if you've heard, but Opal's kind of mad at me. I was hoping you could help me win her back.
What do you got there?
Oh no, what did you do?
So this note Pabu brought me saying you broke both of your legs was just a ruse?
Maybe. But now that you're here, don't you want to just sit back?
That's the best way to.
Let's just sit down and have a great picnic because we're so in love.
Ouch.
I'm sorry you had to see that, Pabu.
Pabu doesn't care.
Thank you both for coming, especially after you tried to have me kidnapped.
Allegedly.
Right. Everything you do is allegedly.
If Kuvira really is creating a super weapon, we're going to need the two brightest minds in the city working together to stop it.
But don't even think about double-crossing me again.
Ow.
Don't fuck with her.
Nope.
I think if I see Zaheer chained up, I'll finally realize that he's not a threat anymore.
Perhaps. Wow, he's really deep in the mountain. They do not want him to escape again.
Nope. Time for some
Approach the wall.
Okay.
No. I need to do this alone.
Time to face some fears. Some exposure therapy here. Is what I wanted to say. Don't stop. Don't stop. Don't stop.
I figured you would show up sooner or later.
This was a mistake.
I know why you're here.
You don't know anything about me!
I spend most of my time in the spirit world, and it's well known that the Avatar's spirit hasn't been there for a few years.
You poisoned me! You ruined me!
Neither of us are the same as before. I learned to fly, but now I'm bound in chains. You have all the power in the world and the freedom to use it. but you choose to hold yourself down. You think your power has limits. I say it's limitless.
Whatever. You took out the Earth Queen and created the worst dictator the Earth Kingdom has ever seen. Thanks for that.
I've heard rumors about her, but I didn't know she achieved so much power. Let me lead you into the spirit world.
No way. I can't trust you.
But if you had any other options, you wouldn't be here now.
Oh, damn.
What have I got to lose?
Focus on the sound of my voice and clear your mind.
Oh, this is interesting.
Let it play out.
I can't!
Don't be afraid. Hold on.
She did it.
I made it. Rava, I missed you.
I have always been inside of you.
Can you help me find Jinora?
Thank you, Zaheer.
Spend the energy within.
But I'm powerless in the spirit world.
No, you're most powerful here.
Dad!
I'm so glad you're safe. What happened?
Korra saved us.
So, how are you doing?
I am finally able to accept what happened, and I think that's gonna make me stronger.
I know there's nothing I could do or no big gesture that can make up for all my mistakes, but that doesn't mean I'm gonna stop trying to win you back. I love you.
You know, there is one thing you could do to win me back.
What is it? Yes, I'll do anything.
Come with.
Come on a secret mission with us.
Yes.
Where to?
We're going to rescue my family.
Rectify yourself.
Ooh. That was a good episode.
Got my little pool of tears.
Oh.
I was not expecting all of this emotion.
No.
My emotions!
There was a lot of emotion in this one. Can't believe she went to see Zaheer, and that really helped in accepting what happened to you instead of trying to forget it or push it away. Yes. Good stuff. Good stuff. But that was chapter 9, Beyond the Wilds. I think there's a lot to talk about with this one.
There is. It's gonna be a long one.
It's gonna be a long one. So let's jump into the Patreon stuff first. Talk about some questions and comments there, and then we'll wrap up afterwards. The first one is from Lucas. So far, Kuvira has been established as the opposite to Zaheer, wanting order as opposed to freedom. If Korra wasn't fighting someone directly opposed to Zaheer's beliefs, do you think he would have helped her regain her spirituality? Does Zaheer actually want to help Korra, or is it more a case of the enemy of my enemy is my friend? He did say that, well, he's heard some things about Kuvira and she should be stopped. And if that was like 100% of why he wanted to help her, I don't know. But I'm sure he also has some sort of curiosity about, the state that she's in. He's always been very spiritual, and I don't think he's expecting to get out of where he is right now. He knows that his plans failed, and this is his existence now. So he could either, contribute in some way or do something and satisfy his own curiosity by helping her, or he could flat out refuse it. So I think that there are multiple things there that made him help her.
I have multiple points about this.
Okay.
First off, he said, like, when she came to say that, well, you ending the Earth Queen actually gave birth to this fascist dictator.
True.
That is Kuvira, and you could see the hurt in his eyes.
He reacted to that. He was like, oh, fuck. That was the opposite of what I wanted to do.
Exactly. And I also think that made him think about, like, well, this is not what I intended, but this is what happened, and this is like something that he probably didn't think about the consequences of his actions. He just thought that if I instate this, or if I create this state of chaos in the world, then that will be the natural order without thinking. I think he overestimated human beings and like people and their nature of destroying and wanting to seize power and all of this.
Yeah, or underestimated, perhaps.
No, I think he overestimated. He thought too much of people.
Okay, in that way, and then he probably maybe underestimated certain other people's ability to go in and grab power.
Yeah, and
grab control.
Like the what's it called, a power vortex that they created.
Yeah, power void, I think.
Power vortex.
Okay.
Sure. Something with vortex at least. And that's so that's one thing, like that whole thing. And then I also do believe that some way deep down, like I think he's a very good person, and he wants the best for humankind. He wants the best for spirits. He wants the best for he just wants the best for the world, and he does it out of like goodwill. I just think that he's doing it in the wrong way. That's also like my problem with his methods, because of course we talked about this in the last season, so I'm not gonna delve into that. I just do believe that it comes from a place of being a good person and wanting to do what he believes is the best for humankind. He found out it's not necessarily the best for humankind, because we're all different and we are all attracted to different kinds of power structures and stuff like that. So I think it also stems from, beside the curiosity and enemy of my enemy, I should so nicely put it, it's also a thing of I want to help because I'm actually a good person, and I want to help Korra because she's in pain.
Yeah, there might be an element of that as well. So as we're saying, a lot of things made him or helped him decide what he was going to do there, and lent Korra a helping hand with finding her way into the spirit world again. But that was just all in all a really cool sequence. I did not expect for us to spend time with Zaheer again and see him in captivity. That place, that's going to be difficult to get out of. So yeah, I still don't think he's going to be able to do that at all. And he has found peace, or he's at peace with that, I think.
To a certain degree.
To a certain degree. That, this is where I am now.
But I think that was, sorry, I'm just following up on that. But him saying, it was so powerful in a way, I think. He's saying, well, I'm down here in chains and I levitate because I'm free, and I'm accepting this is where I am in my life right now. And like he was like, I don't have like literal freedom.
Like you do.
Yeah, exactly, because I'm chained. And then you come here and you say that even though you have unlimited power, you say you're being held down.
Yes.
You are actually the one in chains. I'm not.
Yeah.
And I think that like reverse thing.
He has a physical thing blocking him and his abilities and his freedom, whereas Korra, it was a mental thing holding her down. And that mental block that can be broken. Whereas the situation he's in right now, well, he just needs to accept that.
But it's
he doesn't
like
have the same freedom.
Yeah, but the same way, like they have to cope in the same way. Because he had to accept that, well, I did some bad stuff and now I'm sitting here and this is my life now, and he has to accept that. And I think that's what he did. He probably used a lot of time to accept that it was his situation, and that's why he's able to levitate again, and that's why he feels somewhat free even though he's in chains.
Yeah.
Whereas Korra also needs to accept this happened to her, and
yeah. And he's been there 3 years, obviously, and you can see beard and the hair again, just like when we saw him the first time at the beginning of book 3. So that was a nice callback. All right, the next one from Ahsoka Bendu. Love that name, by the way. It's amazing that Zaheer is imprisoned, yet he's free to roam the spirit world. Obviously, nobody knew this, so should they interfere with that or let him be, since his physical form is still locked up? I don't think you can.
What can he do?
Stop him from
No.
going into the spirit world. If all he needs to do is just meditate, he can do that anywhere, no matter what. Like, unless they, or even if they make it so that he can't physically sit or float and meditate, I think like he's still going to be able to do that. Use his mind and his spirituality to get into the spirit world. So yeah, just let him do that. Like, he's not going anywhere. His physical being, at least.
What can he do? Upset the spirit world? Well, it's already upset. It's not gonna change much.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if he can do any damage, or if he, like, in the spirit worlds, if he can mess anything up in the physical world or material worlds where he's being held. And if he was able to do that, I'm sure he would have done it by now.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, that's not a danger. Just let him roam around in the spirit world. And the next one is from Ahsoka Bendu as well. Korra's spiritual growth is so fantastic when compared to her in season 1. She's the first metal bending avatar and a spirit bender as well. How do you all feel about her evolution as not just an avatar but as a person? Yeah, that's something we talk about a lot all the time, and it is a big important thing in the show is Korra's growth as an avatar and as a person in particular. And if you, as you're saying, Ahsoka, if you compare her to Korra in season 1 or in book 1, yeah, there's a big difference there, because that's what she was lacking most. Was she wasn't that spiritual. She was good at the bending stuff, good at the physical stuff, but that was what she needed to get in touch with, and then that's what happened, especially during book 3 or book 2 and book 3, was really getting in touch with the spiritual world and her spiritual side, and learning about Rava. We even got a little bit of Rava in this episode, and seems like she hasn't been able to get in contact with Rava for a long time. So that was just good to see, and I love her evolution.
Definitely. And I think yeah, I've talked a lot about it last time. I think it was her whole journey, and especially this focus on mental health that these seasons have been focused on. And I don't know if, because I haven't had PTSD, I haven't felt trauma like that. I do have demons that come back sometimes, a bit like Zaheer. Sometimes they pop up and
we all have our demons.
In hard times. But I think maybe the whole thing with Rava, and suddenly Rava showing up and she would suddenly feel Rava again, is maybe some people feel like they're not themselves after they've gone through some sort of heavy trauma that's gonna take its toll on them. And at some point in their journey, they might get to a point where, or at this point, they hopefully, when they have accepted the trauma that happened, when they have accepted all of this torment they've been through, then they might actually feel a bit like themselves again. Like they've gone out, like they've been away, and then suddenly they came back and they're just feeling like themselves again. That they have this connection with themselves, and because Rava is a part of her. So maybe I just felt, well, that's at least how I relate to it, like this whole back kind of. And that was just so powerful, and so I think that's why I cried so much.
Yeah, very powerful, and with the music as usual, they really know, like they know how to hit us with the music and those very powerful scores. But I just wonder why the spirits or the spirit world, the spirit vines, why they did that to those people. Were they just in the wrong place at the wrong time, and it's just a reaction to what's going on at the tree? or is there something deeper to it? I'm expecting for it to actually be what I just said, and it's a reaction to what Kuvira is doing. But it is interesting how the spirit world will react, or the spirits will react in certain cases.
Yeah, I feel like,
and even even trapping someone like Jinora, who has a deep connection to the spirits. Like, why didn't that help her there? Or why couldn't she do anything? That's
yeah, but I think this whole spirit vine thing, it is a reaction. And I think, like, if someone is twisting your arm, you would be fighting for your arm to get out of that grip and, you know, get away from the pain. Like, yeah. So
I would lash out, or
yeah, and sometimes you lash out blindly. That you just want to get out of the situation, so you just lash out blindly. And I don't think,
could
like,
certainly be that
spirits and these spirit vines, they don't discriminate people from people.
No,
even though they have nothing to do with it. Well, I think, as you say, it's just like a lashing out. And
humans are doing this, so fuck all of y'all humans.
Something like that.
Maybe,
yeah. We could also see how it was lashing out at the mix.
Oh yeah. When Korra was looking through her vision there.
Yeah, you could see that it was like, so. I think maybe it's just everywhere where the vines, they would be starting to flail.
They must
like,
really
get the fuck out of the way.
Yeah, that must be very difficult to handle in the swamp at the big tree. So whatever it is, like, this weapon can do, or whatever Kuvira thinks that it can do, and how powerful it is, like, that's really a motivator, a huge motivator, like, going through the hassle of trying to get these vines in such a dangerous environment. It must really be worth it, I guess. And then the last comment is from Spoondog. 2 questions, because I love this episode. Number 1. A lot of people like to say that Toph healed Korra's mind, Katara healed Korra's body, and Zaheer healed Korra's spirit. Do you agree with this sentiment? Well, it's difficult. I don't know if I want to divide it up into, like, those 3 categories per se. Like, you could definitely argue that Katara was probably able to heal a lot of the stuff that was going on just physically with Korra, just the injuries that she suffered. But that is also linked to her spirit and also linked to her mind. So it's all linked. Like, I don't think you can divide it up like that. They all helped her in certain ways, and helped her a little bit, and then Zaheer just gave it the final push with the bringing her into the spirit world. So they all contributed to healing both her body and her mind and her spirit, I would rather say.
Yeah, and I don't buy into this thing, like this duality, or in this, it's a Triforce almost. I don't believe this. It's not my personal belief, because we as people have a tendency to, like, divide. So we have, like, body and mind. And it's just one big, like, we're one big living organism. We are not separated into, like, different parts. We're one moving body. We're one moving entity, yeah. And it's just, so, as you say, like, some, maybe they healed certain parts of her, maybe, and then some other heal something else and stuff like that. So for me, it's not. You can't really divide it up like that.
But we humans, we like to put things into boxes.
But yeah, I know this, like, duality thing is, like, years old. It's like Plato or something. I don't know, some Greek philosopher. I don't know. And I think it's a little bit silly, especially since I work in the field of neuroscience and also just, like, science, and, like, recent years we found out that, well, everything works together in one big whole, so you can't really separate like that. So yeah, I don't know.
But it is interesting to think about, nonetheless, how at least both Katara, Toph, and Zaheer, they all helped Korra in certain ways and helped Korra help herself as well. Right, number 2. Do you agree with Zaheer's characterization of Korra that her power is limitless? Do you think this suggests that Zaheer thinks he made a mistake trying to take her down last season? Not necessarily that he made a mistake, but he definitely knows how powerful the Avatar is, how powerful it is to be linked to the spiritual world, what you can do with bending and with your mind, like what he was able to do himself with the levitating, and knowing that if he can do it, then someone with the powers of the Avatar, they certainly have the capabilities to maybe get there as well and do so many other things. So he just has a lot of respect for all of those things, with the Avatar and the spirit worlds in general.
Yeah, I agree to a certain point. I think maybe, I don't think he believes in mistakes. I don't think he's the type of person that believes in mistakes like that. I think more maybe that he not necessarily regrets it either, because that's kind of like two sides of the same coin. But I do believe that, as you say, like he has a huge respect for Korra, and maybe he wouldn't like to see her gone at this point.
Maybe, or maybe that's exactly why he wanted her gone, was because he knew just how limitless the power of the Avatar is, and if the Avatar is not on his side, then he needs to get rid of the Avatar. So, yeah.
Yeah, and he's not in, like, he's accepted his fate in chains. That also means he probably has accepted the existence of an Avatar, and then if he can guide her towards a world in balance, that's also kind of what he wants, right? He just believes that balance is in chaos, because he believes that's the natural state of everything and all that. So maybe if he actually guides the Avatar to do his bidding in a way, then maybe he can kind of like push her into the, for him, right direction, maybe. Not necessarily completely manipulate her, but at least...
Yeah, so that's a reason why he would help her now, or that's something he can do from where he is and make changes that way around through the Avatar, is what he's thinking. Perhaps. Yeah.
But again, it boils down to that I believe that he might actually be a very good person, and he just wants to do what he thinks is best for humanity. And yeah, he just didn't really take into consideration that people are different and thrive under different circumstances and leadership and all that stuff. And people still like their freedom, and yeah.
Yeah, and some other people might still want to be ruled. Like, it's difficult.
And it's just that. And yeah, so maybe it comes from a good place, everything. That's at least what I believe. Maybe I'm too naive, I don't know, but...
I'm sure he believes that as well.
I'm sure he does too. But I don't know if I would say that Korra is... Or maybe she is. It's just unlocking that power within.
Yeah, we don't know exactly what the Avatar is capable of. Because there's always going to be new discoveries and surprises along the way, certain situations that's going to provoke something inside of her, or something with Rava. Like, anything can pretty much happen, and this is a big fantasy world, so even something that the writers might not have thought of now is something they can implement later on in another story about the Avatar, where they do something new and crazy. So in that sense, yeah, probably, maybe limitless, but just from what we've seen, it does seem like there are certain limits to the Avatar, perhaps, but it's not something finite or something, limited. We'll see what happens. There's it's difficult to say whether or not the powers of the Avatar is limitless. I don't know what to say.
I think the possibilities might be limitless. It's all just about, you know, being creative with what you have, the powers that you've been given.
For Korra or for the
Yeah,
people
for the
who
Avatar.
are telling the story? Or
For the Avatar.
Yeah. We'll see. But for me, it's more that the creators, they can decide to do whatever they want, because it is, as I said, a fantasy fictional universe. So if they decide that nope, the Avatar is going to be able to turn into a freaking dragon at some point, then that's what's going to happen. I don't know. It's But besides the Korra and Zaheer stuff, we also got to check in on Bolin. Bolin and Varric, they got back and interrupted in the middle of that meeting between the world leaders. Pretty cool to see the Fire Lord, actually, Zuko's daughter or granddaughter? Daughter. Either way, it was an interesting conversation they had there. And yeah, man, I don't know how I feel about Raiko and the others. Like, they can see that what Kuvira is doing is a potential threat. And they even mentioned the fact that, well, she promised to let go of all of that power once the Earth Kingdom had been united again, but she didn't. And she held on to that power and even called it the Earth Empire, and putting herself at the top. And it's like, yeah, they obviously, I think they should do something other than just putting up defenses. But I also get the argument of not just going into a full-on offensive and attacking. But what else is there to do? And yeah.
Bait her into an offense so they can defend.
Oh, in that way, yeah, maybe. But how do they bait her and provoke her in a way where it doesn't...
I think they're going to right now, even though it's not planned. But I think that's going to be like the poke. That's going to...
The poke?
The poke?
The poke.
The poke. Yeah, what?
Sorry.
And then Asumi? Fire Lord Asumi? She will be ready with her...
dangerously close to Asami.
Yeah, exactly. And I was a little
or
bit
was
like...
Was it Asuma or something? Which was closer to Azula or...
No, I think it's probably Asumi. But like, A said UMI.
Izumi.
Okay.
Izumi. Sorry, I just had to make sure and look it up. I said UMI.
Oh, okay, very close.
Izumi. And she's the granddaughter of Osai and Ursa, so Lord Zuko's daughter.
Yeah.
All right, got it.
At least, well, what I just meant was like, she's there and she has her troops there. And the same with Raiko, he has all of his people.
Yeah, the Republic army.
Yeah, he has them on standby too. So they just need the poke. And in case you don't know the reference when I say the poke, it's you can it's from League of Legends, or probably other games as well. But you poke someone, so you
okay.
So you kind of poke people by
provoking them in a certain way, and you want them to follow and then attack or something in that way. Okay. Yeah.
It's incredibly annoying when people poke you. So yeah, that might be the poke might be this super secret mission that Bolin and Opal and Lin that they're going for here.
Yeah. Without it actually, not that that's the plan, that they're going to do something and that's going to provoke Kuvira and lead her to the Fire Nation army and the Republic army and the Airbenders. But that might be the result of it, at least. And I'm glad that Bolin he's going with them, and that him and Opal are hopefully gonna get some time there to bond, reconnect. Yeah, because it's we don't want to see them upset at each other.
No.
Although I understand why Opal is mad.
Yeah, definitely.
Because it was her family and her country on the line, and he was kind of helping out the bad guy, the enemy. Even though, he did flee, and he did realize that, whoa, this is not where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah.
It's and you can boil it down to stupidity. It's not because he believed in it or anything.
You know, him not
ignorance. But he still did it. So
yeah, but I also think it was a very nice way that Mako and Korra kind of welcomed him back, saying, "Yeah, well, you made a huge mistake, but you did it out of good faith. You believed at the time that it was the right choice.
Yeah.
You found out definitely not, and then you got that much smarter, right? And then you came back to the right side.
It really shows just how much those three have been through, how much they trust each other and know each other. So them just forgiving Bolin like that and hugging it out twice. That was really nice to see. They've come a long way as well from when they met each other back at the pro bending tourneys and stuff.
Yeah, they really came a long way.
Yeah, and we just had the recap, so it's easy to put those things.
Exactly, it was kind of fun to see, though, a little bit, like seeing how just arrogant Mako was.
For example, yeah.
And then to him actually forgiving and accepting, welcoming Bolin back and being very grown up about it and saying, yeah, well, you do you, and yeah, it was not great, but now you're back. And like, for example, if you make some sort of mistake, isn't that the one response that you would hope for?
Especially from the people that you know and love and you grew up with, and your family in particular. Yeah, that's the response that you want.
Also because Bolin is not like he's not savvy enough to wanting to like double cross or like backstab.
No, they know him. That. They know that whatever he's doing, it comes from a good place. So
yeah, he's a little bit he's very honest, in a very naive and endearing way, and I think that's just like of course he wouldn't do it as some sort of ploy to
No.
It's gonna be interesting to see Asami and Varric kind of working together again.
Oh yeah.
And see what's gonna come out there.
She's not gonna let him pull anything, no. And he's not gonna. He's grown as well as a character, I think.
A little bit.
We'll see. I might have to eat my words at some point, but I believe he has.
To some degree, yeah. But then the last thing I wanted to mention was just I just thought it was very interesting, this whole thing that Zaheer, he's very inspired by this Guru Lahima. And I couldn't help but think this whole thing with accepting and going through the pain, going through the torment, like just accepting and living through everything and allowing yourself to live through all of this pain and process it in that way. It just reminded me a bit of something I saw with some Buddhist monks, I think it was, that the way that like they handle pain, like physical pain, was kind of they have a very high pain tolerance, and they were kind of looking into this whole thing with pain and how they're able to process it. And the way they do it is just basically just accepting it, like noticing it, like letting yourself feel the pain.
Oh, so like what he advised Korra to do, just stay in it.
Yeah.
Let it play out. Let it play out. Don't try to push it away with the pain. Yeah.
Exactly. It can be so hurtful to both physically and mentally. Sometimes you can have pain that is so painful that you just want to get rid of it. But sometimes the best thing is to just ride the wave and just let you be consumed by the torment, if you can say it like that.
Ride the wave, dude.
Yeah, just feel it.
Yeah.
Give yourself some space to feel it and go through it, even though it's absolutely torture. But then it helps you maybe get out on the other side. And the next time you then are exposed to the same kind of pain or some other kind of pain, you might be able to process it better. And you might heighten your tolerance that way. I just thought it was interesting. I'm sorry.
Definitely. It is.
Sorry, it was a long one. I'm sorry.
No worries. It's I think they're used to us talking for a long while, or just really trying to dive into things. Sometimes we succeed with it, sometimes maybe not as much, but it's nice to talk about a series like this that we enjoy a lot, with so many facets and themes and good characters. Yeah, we're enjoying it, so we hope you are too. But that's going to do it for this reaction and review of The Legend of Korra, Book 4, Chapter 9, Beyond the Wilds. Thank you guys so much for watching as always, and we'll see you very soon. Bye.
Bye.